Hey, what's up, guys? So, today we will be talking about Wonder Woman 1984. In that instance, we will be spoiling the full movie. So, once again, this is a spoiler cast. There will be spoilers. We are spoiling Wonder Woman 1984. So, if you haven't seen the movie yet, you can go ahead and click off and you can come back after you are finished watching it. Now, I have Jay Meds with me. I got Jay Medina. I got the homie Meds with me.
Hello.
And we are going to, we're just going to have a conversation about the movie. I would like to comment on the fact that you have no image on
I
your
know.
icon.
I'm literally setting it up right now because I knew
Okay.
you were going to say that shit.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you knew. I'm glad you knew. But yeah, so we're gonna get started and talk about that. We'll say hi to people in the chat. What's up, NLPWA? What's up, Arcade, the finest? Drakey Poo. What's up, Para One? You know. So we're gonna talk about this movie. We're also gonna talk about the grading system that people seem to not comprehend. That somehow
Mm-hmm.
somehow a lot of us, like I am assuming that a lot of my followers on Twitter, at least, and in the YouTube space, at least by the conversations we've had, went to high school and middle school in America, and when they got their score back, if it was a 7 out of 10, that was a 70. That translated into a C. Okay, a 80 is a B, and then a 90 is an A. Like, that's how the American grading system works, right? But I think being in this trash community has ruined people's sense of what is a good score or not, because I see people saying an 85 an 85 is a terrible score. I'm like, are you like, y'all must have fucking failed high school or something, high school and middle school or something, because you can't comprehend basic shit. That has been this has been the scaling system for fucking generations now. But whatever. Let's see here. What up, Singer? What's up, Philly? What's up, Iron Mike? What's up, Tyler? Rodimus? What is up, Deaf Singer?
What is up?
So yeah, we're going to discuss this movie, and before we even get into it, I'm gonna say the movie gets a 7 out of 10 for me. It was an average film. I would definitely score it lower if I had to go out and pay for this ticket and drive in the cold to the theater, only to be disappointed. I'm glad I didn't have to do that, but since I watched it from the comfort of my aunt and uncle's house with their surround sound and their nice 4K TV, I was just like, all right, this ain't so bad, man. It could be a lot lower. So we're gonna go ahead and discuss all of our feelings on it. We're gonna start with the plot points. We're gonna talk about the character motivations. We're gonna talk about the characterizations of certain key characters, such as Maxwell Lord and what's her name, Barbara Minerva, aka Cheetah. So we're gonna talk about that and how absolutely none of this movie made any sense whatsoever. Every single plot point was contrived. The character motivation for Maxwell Lord, who isn't even actually, like, his name isn't actually Maxwell Lord. I just want to put that out there, right? But the character motivations for people like Maxwell Lord didn't make any sense. I thought Barbara's transformation in general, how that didn't make any sense. We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about all of that. So, but let's see here. Random guy said it's funny that Wonder Woman is this badass warrior, but a lot of stuff she does is dependent on men. I don't see. Okay, I didn't see it as her being dependent.
Me either.
Like, no.
I don't know why relying on someone to have your back is being dependent. They were like, when she was in the first movie, they worked really well together. They thought of each other after she got him. They thought of each other as equals, and they worked together. And he always has faith in her, and always relies on her to do certain things while backing her up. It makes sense that her wishing him back, which, I mean, how he came back didn't make any sense. But her wishing him back, of course she doesn't want to lose him. She's been by herself for like 40 years. Like, I get that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And we gotta get rid of this idea that just because you have a partner that you rely on.
Yeah, like, you're a strong woman, so you shouldn't want any man. Like, that's weird.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And I'm saying this as a woman. So yeah. I don't think there's any problem with it. I thought they worked well together. I thought it made sense why she was losing her powers. At first I thought she was losing them because Barbara was like sucking some of her powers out, dog. But no, it's just like, oh, okay, this is the sacrifice, And I thought her sacrifice was less about her powers, but more about her ability to help people, which is why it translated into her trying to rescue the children. but not having the strength to hold on to the lasso. Therefore, she put the kids in danger. Therefore, it translates into this idea that she's not able to protect people if she doesn't have her powers. And that's what's most important to her. Taking care of people, saving people, that's what's important to her, So, and I thought he was great saying, yeah, listen, I'm not supposed to be here. This is unnatural. Let me go. And I was like, all right, this makes perfect sense to me. But yeah, I didn't see it as her being like dependent on him or anything like that. Personally, that's my opinion on it. What about you guys?
I mean, I definitely agree with that. She was alone for 40 years. Like, how is she dependent? So that's a little silly to me. And it's like a lot of strong superhero men, right? They also have their woman. Lois Lane. What's the girl that Iron Man has? His girl. Like everybody has their. So that's silly to me.
I can't remember.
The way that she learned how to fly. The way that she learned how to fly because he gave her like advice. That was stupid.
Was she even fucking flying?
She was using like air drafts or some shit.
Yeah, it's like her whip. She threw her whip out and caught onto like the cloud. It looked like.
At one point, she was flying like using a missile or some shit. I don't know, man.
I didn't think of it as her flying because I was like, well, she can't fucking fly in the other movies, so this better not be what this is. Like, it was stupid. Talking about on my channel, talking about Wonder Woman.
And the way that she was using her powers also like gradually also felt odd to me because everybody else lost things like instantly. So it's like, why is her loss gradual? Like, but I don't know.
Because she's a supernatural creature, naturally,
Perhaps.
Mm-hmm. Naturally supernatural. I would like to talk about how, Barbara saying, listen, I want to be an apex predator, turns her
into a cheetah.
What is happening here? Like, I was just confused on so many notes. Yeah, I don't think it's about her not being able to find people. She just she didn't want to, Like, it's not a not able to. That is 100% a choice on her part. Have you seen her?
Yeah. I mean, she's overrated to me, but yeah.
I got you. But
that
she's still beautiful.
that I'll never love again at the end. That was so forced and corny. Ugh.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's like what's up, the finest Juan, what is up, Philly, what's up, Yobi brother, what's up, Shogun, what's up, Envy, what's up, Space Host, what's up, Ryan Landis, what is up, Forte, if you want in, just let me know. And honestly speaking, Iron Mike, only one woman wrote the script. The other two were men. So, I don't know what was going on. I don't know what they were thinking. And these are different people who wrote this script versus who wrote the script for the original Wonder Woman. Which, you can tell because, in my opinion, even though I like the original Wonder Woman, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that this movie was a drastic drop off, in my opinion. Like, I don't think the first Wonder Woman is like this amazing piece of, media, but it's way better than this movie.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I definitely think that the first Wonder Woman, the reason why it was so beloved by people is because every other DC film up until that point was like dog shit, basically, in people's opinions. And Wonder Woman was the first one that was like on an Ant-Man level of decent, like in terms of the Marvel films. You know what I mean?
So you think the people in general graded it on a curve?
Yes. 100%. So, okay, listen, I get that you're rolling a joint or whatever it is you're doing. Just do it away from the mic, dog.
God damn it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, let's see here. She was trying to be emotional. She couldn't cry on that. Yeah. Yeah. So when she started gliding through the air, flying, okay, I was just like, bro, what's happening? But anyway, we're gonna go from point to point to point, and we're gonna start from the beginning, right? So I guess we should be positive first and talk about things that we liked. So what I liked about the movie is I liked for the most part it kept what's the word? What word should I use? I guess kept in line with what's been established about her character already. She would destroy cameras and just be like, shh, don't tell anyone or whatever when she was like performing her heroics, so people didn't know that she existed and stuff, right? So that was one point. I like the stuff on, the mascara. I liked all that stuff. I always like that stuff. I think it's pretty cool. I like the life lessons being taught there. I like that she's a genuinely good person who can see the good in people, who is kind to others. I like that a lot. I thought Kristen Wiig Pedro Pascal and Gal Gadot did a really good job. I definitely think Pedro and Kristen Wiig did better, but they had a lot more to work with, in my opinion. All Gal had to really work with was Diana is sad, and then Diana's happy, and then Diana is self-sacrificing. Not too like nothing else all that interesting. I felt, I felt like I could have written a better script. I felt like either take Maxwell Lord or take Barbara out of the movie. You could have had the same fucking movie. Honestly speaking, in my opinion, like one or the other. If you took one of them out, it wouldn't have mattered. So I'm gonna okay, but that's the negatives, right? That's the negatives. What else was positive about the movie? I like the love story between Steve and Diana. I think it's really sweet. I'm happy he came back. I really liked her showing him around and showing him all the stuff that's changed in the last 40 years, and him being so excited about the technology and everything like that. And it was like a reverse of what happened in the first Wonder Woman movie, where she's like, I don't know about this. I don't know what this is. And he showed her all this stuff. I thought that was great. I thought the scenes they spent together were nice. Okay, that's the end of my positives. Do you guys have any positives?
Yeah, my positives were I do believe I agree with you. The performances in terms of the three main characters, I thought they were pretty strong. I think the weakest being Gal Gadot. But it's also because of what you said. She didn't really have much to work with, right? I think it's more of a fault of the script. But also, actually, you know what? That's about it. Honestly, my favorite part was definitely Max Lord. I think Pedro Pascal did a really, really great job, and honestly, that's about it. That's about it.
I just echo this. I have nothing much more to add because I'm pretty much in the same boat as Meds on this. But I'd echo the sentiments. Like the three main characters were good. Max, that was my favorite part of the movie. It just, but there's not much I can say positive, to be honest.
Yeah. So
even the action wasn't like great either.
The action really wasn't great. All right, so okay, then we can talk about. Let's see here. I remember Patty saying her getting her new powers was a really emotional moment. Where was the emotion? I'm looking around and I see not a thing. You want to talk about new powers? Let's talk about her turning that jet invisible.
Bro,
yo,
where? That was ridiculous. We were all just laughing about it. We couldn't believe what we were seeing. I saw it with Death Singer and Big Cloud Gaming. We were in shock. Like,
yeah, it's like, what is this? Tell me what this is right now.
Yeah, no, I was like really blown away that they would like do I'm like, listen, I understand that she has an invisible jet, like I get that, but the way that she got it in this particular movie, in this instance, I was like, this is the dumbest shit I have seen, and I've seen a lot of dumb shit. There's like absolutely nothing that makes sense about any of this whatsoever. Yeah, she looked great in the costume. She looked great in the costume, but that's not much else you could really like say about it. I definitely thought that scene where she made the jet invisible, I thought that was very stupid, and I wish we had some more context, some more information. They even had a scene of her being a little kid learning lessons. They could have taught her that. But then again, it's like, well, why didn't she use that power for anything else when anything else was going on? She could have made herself invisible when she was running across the battlefield in the first one. Nothing makes sense. I don't get it, man. I don't get any of this. And then what else was a part of the movie that made me want to jump off a building?
When she learned how to fly?
Oh, right. Like the whole flying stuff, not flying. I don't know what was going on with that. I'm going to make the assumption that she was just gliding through the air, because if they made it so she could actually fly, but then don't have her fly at all in Justice League or Batman v Superman, I'm going to be like, brother, what the hell? Because like they already initially nerfed her so Superman could be just the strongest in general. They nerfed her significantly because of that shit, right? And oh god, like there's just so much about it where I'm just really blown away. Like I didn't like that scene either. I thought it was really stupid. I thought it was cheesy. Sometimes cheese can be good. I wasn't a fan of that kind of cheese.
The thing that got me was the whole wishing stone thing, right? Because it seems like initially it was like, okay, cool, I understand this. And then about, I'd say, 3/4 of the way through, they were just making up stuff as they went along. Like the rules of the wishing stone went right out the window. It was just doing its own thing.
Yeah. For the most part, I can agree with that. I think there's a way that it can make sense, but I think the wishing stone concept in general is just a stupid one. I thought it was a stupid plot device.
Yeah.
And okay, let's talk about the characters individually. So we're going to talk about which one is more annoying for me. Okay, so we're going to talk about Barbara Minerva or whatever, right? All right, first of all, I want to say that Kristen Wiig did a great job with the material she was given. That being said, her wish, the whole I wish I was as confident and sexy and what else and strong as Diana was, right?
Yeah.
And then the next morning, she fluffs up her hair. She pulls down her shirt to make it into a dress, and suddenly she's like some femme fatale, sexy beast. And I'm just like, what? Who wrote this? Who fucking wrote? Like, this shit is like, you guys. What was that one movie? Not Another Teen Movie. You guys ever seen that movie?
Yes.
Where the main character, I mean, and that's a parody movie in itself, right? She takes off her glasses and takes down her hair, and suddenly she's the hottest girl in school. It was that kind of nonsense. I was like, bro, I thought we have moved past this kind of storytelling. Shit was stupid. Like, all it really said to me is like, okay, listen, girl, all you have to do is like clean yourself up a little, and get some confidence. You could have been sexy. You're already smart. So what's the fucking problem, right? Like, what's the issue here? That entire sequence was stupid. Now, her getting the powers, that's cool. Like, I was like, yeah, okay, this is fine, I guess. And, I guess this is okay. But then when she got the powers again,
how did she get a second wish?
But she did. That's the point. That's the one point I can agree with Death Singer about with the whole, the wishing stone rock, whatever. It just started making up stuff. How in the world was she able to get another wish? And then how did it, like, I understand, bitch, you like fucking cheetah print, leopard print. I get it. But you being like, did she have like a fucking cheetah in her mind when she's like, I want to be an apex predator? I was like, okay. And then it just transformed her into like cheetah. And I'm just sitting there like, okay, like they could have done literally anything else and this would have been better. And yeah, anyone else?
No, I'll give you that one. That one right there, that kind of blew me right there. I was like, what? Okay, they literally turned her into a cheetah. And that was, I guess he was thinking of that when she made that wish. I didn't have a problem with the rest of it though. Like, I think some people are looking a little bit too far into it when it comes to like when she made her first wish about her confidence side, because I think you're absolutely right when it comes to just, bring yourself together and, be confident in who you are and stuff. And you're smart and everything. But that's the one thing that, Diana was, very confident. That was just the first part of her getting those powers. And when you become confident, you start looking at yourself differently and you'll do things that you normally wouldn't do to kind of show yourself off. So I think as much as it was kind of like, oh, we're going here with it, it kind of made sense in like the plot that they were actually speaking.
No, it doesn't.
To me, it did. And then, but like I said, the power thing, her getting the powers, I thought that was really cool. I was like, okay, so you got the confidence side, but then as Diana was losing powers, you were gaining those powers. So it was like a contrast of each other because of how their wishes actually were performed for each other. So I think that's the reason that it kind of melded the way it did, because it could have just happened all at once, but they kind of build it up over the course of the more time that, she spent around, what's the name? The more her powers started going away, you just started seeing it, happen more and more over time. So I do agree with her in the second wish. I still don't understand how you could even get a second wish. And then at the end, they did just start throwing wishes at the wall and seeing what would stick. But overall, I really, truly enjoyed that part. Now, when it comes to the flying, I never thought she was flying. I always knew she was, because they did little keys in there, like she throws the lasso and catches on to the airplane as it's flying through the sky. So you see her lasso that she can already jump pretty high. She's already doing stuff like that. She's basically just
She's doing the thing that you do in the Arkham games where you're flying, but really you're falling.
Yeah, that's what she's doing. She's falling gracefully.
Slow-mo. Do you want to link slow-mo? Let me know.
Yeah, she's falling. Get in here. But she's falling to the, because I had this big argument in my own family. We were watching this as a family and stuff, and it's like, when did Wonder Woman start flying? I was like, well, it looks like she's flying, but she's really falling.
See, and that is a failure on their part, because I took it as her gliding.
That's
But
why I took it
a
as.
lot of other people saw it as her flying. And the only reason I didn't see it as her flying was because I was like, well, this would not make any sense in the larger scheme of everything else going on. So let me go give the super chat. Shout out to Sir X-Man saying she canceled her first wish, then she made another. That's how Wonder Woman got her powers back. They said that after she turned into Cheetah.
No, Wonder Woman got her powers back because she renounced her wish.
Yeah, she announced her wish. Yeah, as soon as she renounced it, she got her powers back.
She got rid of she let the other guy die, Steve.
Yeah, as soon as she walked away from Steve off that corner, she literally got her powers back and started running down the street. And then she did the super jump.
All right, shout out to Dirt saying I'm about to watch it in a couple of hours, but my cousin, who I haven't talked to in a year, just called me to ask me if I've seen it. It must be trash because she never calls me.
It has its moments and stuff, but like I said, I think they put enough keys in there to make you question. I guess if you don't know anything about it, you would be like, okay, when did Wonder Woman start flying? But then, like I said, as soon as I saw her lasso the ship or the plane, and then she was riding the lightning because she was using the lightning literally to swing through the sky, which was the most crazy thing I've ever seen. I was like, dude, lightning literally does not have anything. It's literally energy. How are you anchoring yourself to energy? But I guess that was their way of saying, okay, she's not flying. She's using things to propel herself through the through space. Now, the one thing that did get me, I will tell you this, they gave her the Man of Steel moment when she got her powers. And you know how he gets his power back from the sun? They made it seem like she was gliding through the sky and she was getting her confidence back and she was getting her powers back as she was in the sky. So it kind of felt like they were like drumming up the Man of Steel way when he was in sky doing it.
I saw it more
kind of weird.
I saw it as more her getting her powers back as soon as she renounced her wish and started running and she healed up. So shout out to Sir X-Men saying her announcing Steve had nothing to do with it. See, I mean, listen, this is more of a failing on the movie's part, but it 100% has
had everything to do with it. Yeah, had everything to do with
literally everything to do with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, but yeah, so okay, so that all of that stuff, like, and then her turning into Cheetah, I was just kind of sitting there like, this is like
weird.
This is the dumbest shit I have seen a lot of bad movies. Okay, and I want you guys to understand something. I grade movies based off my scale on whether or not I enjoy it or not, right? Like how much I enjoy it. So if I really love a movie, I'm gonna give it a high score, even if other people think it's bad, right? So for me, I gave this movie a 7 because I was like, this is an average film, but based off my environment as well, I'm going to bump it up 1. Because if I had to go out, if I had to drive out and spend money on this shit, I would have given the movie a 6. But since I didn't have to do that, I'm going to give it a 7, you know? So Gregor says Wonder Woman's lightning in the comics because Zeus is her father. All right, so.
Okay.
That does make sense, I guess.
Yeah, okay. Still, it was without any context, though.
Yeah, they didn't make any.
I mean, the people that are watching this, the majority of people watching it have no clue they just know what Wonder Woman was in the first movie.
Okay,
the majority of people.
Oh, okay, wait. And Arcade's making a great point. I can't wait until y'all talk. So let's talk about the fight between Wonder Woman and Cheetah. So I know we are conductors of electricity, but Wonder Woman was wearing a metal suit, which is more of a conductor. So
did she get when the lightning hit? I was like, "Yo, this woman's wearing gold. She is going to fry."
Does gold conduct lightning?
I don't know. Metal does.
I believe it's like all metal, but
gold is soft metal though.
Either way, she's submerged in water.
I mean, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, but, like how could she come out looking like that? But she just comes out. You could see her just like, oh yeah, you know,
she got her powers back. She got her powers back.
No, it's stupid. Like nothing happened at all.
Well, I won't disagree with you on that, but she got her powers back. You know, at this point, everybody believes that she's gonna be who she's always been, and she's stronger than Cheetah.
And then they had a whole Spider-Man segment for whatever. So both of them were Spider-Man for like a good solid 10 minutes. I mean,
okay, well, let's talk about this. Brent's saying it's magic armor. She's Amazonian. Real world logic doesn't apply to her. You know what else is magic? Cheetah's powers. Based off a ancient god that the Amazons know about. So that would be in line with their ancestral plane, right? So therefore, her powers and everything going into Cheetah is related to Diana in terms of magic because Diana's the one who knew about it. She learned about it. Right. So why in the world would Earth logic apply to Amazonian magic in that regard? Make it make sense.
It doesn't make sense, but
The whole Spider-Man sequence was boring though. When she was just swinging around in a circle, and Cheetah just kept on jumping onto a new swing. I'm like, are you gonna, fight? Have a good,
They were spinning around like ballerinas. It was really annoying.
Yeah,
I was just like, what is this? This is a fight scene or a dance number? Like, what is happening? This whole movie was just straight garbage. I'm sorry. The movie sucked.
I agree.
Bad movie. Look,
Lord.
I don't know how many times I was just like, yo, why is this happening? Let's go back to the beginning where she's stopping the robbery. First off, like, why is the robber like they throw money at a guy, he drops his gun, starts kicking it down the hall. I'm like, really? This is like the most comical,
that was the worst robbery scene ever.
I have
the worst robbery scene I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Then the guy just goes from I'm just an idiot robber to I'm gonna drop a kid from like 5 stories in a mall. Now I'm a mass murderer of children. And it's just
and then the acting of all those guys was terrible.
Absolutely worst acting I've seen. I'm just like, yo, why is it that like now in this movie it's like the lasso is everything? It's just literally like Spider-Man's webs. It's like she's lassoing everybody and every single thing. I'm like, yo, can you use anything but the freaking lasso? I'm tired of seeing it.
I just didn't like the way that it was. I just didn't like the way that whole scene was set up. It was like they were trying too hard to impress, and it didn't impress.
She was doing far too much. She was like hip hopping all around. Like, yo, punch them and be done with it. Please.
Exactly. Like, what? Why are you fighting completely different than you did in the first movie, as well as any other movies that you've been in?
And then they tried to make it was like they were using like this slow motion effect, like without using it. It was like they were trying to say, oh, everybody's so much slower, she's moving so much faster, but they're not really doing it right because it just looked weird. It's like, are these people actually moving? It's like you just come running around a corner at full speed, and then all of a sudden we cut to this person that looks like they're in the same plane as you, and everything just looks weird. So that's the one thing I didn't like at the beginning. I was like, it just seems like they're doing too much. They're doing way too much.
There's barely anything in this movie I liked. I had to watch it a third time second time because I fell asleep. I fell asleep twice on the movie.
You spent 9.5 hours watching that movie slow mo.
No. Can you? I corrected myself. I said
3 times.
You flipped out when I said that. I was like, no, I mean a second time. I had to watch it a second time.
7 hours is still too much.
Well, that's because I fell asleep on like half the movie because it was that boring to me, especially the parts where her and Steve just, oh wow,
I like that part. That part actually,
that part was.
I actually like.
I
think once Steve was gone, that's when I think the movie was. I think the whole part with Steve was fine. It was good up to that point.
It was like 25 minutes.
And then I think him
falling at everything that was going on in the 80s.
The invisible jet scene was kind of stupid. The invisible jet was stupid. And then I think I liked them going through the fireworks. That's probably the only part about the invisible jet part I like.
Going through the fireworks was dumb.
Let's talk about this for a second.
Cool.
I didn't think about this until I watched a video earlier today where they mentioned it. The fact that they had Steve come back in someone else's body and then her have sex.
That was weird.
Yes.
So that's
ridiculous, yo.
That's definitely issues on consent. If
I was like, whose body is this you're taking?
Yeah, if Steve was a woman and they had a woman come back in someone else's body and then they had the lead male have sex with her, they would be freaking the fuck out about that. And I didn't even think about it.
You don't know if this person is like cognizant of what's happening.
Seriously, is he knowing what's going on?
No, he doesn't.
She met him later, and he seemed to have no recollection of it.
Like then again, if this dude did have cock, he might not want to nail her, and he's being forced to. And this dude's probably like, why?
Yeah, so that's definitely would constitute as the word I'm just not going to say right here, but it was sexual, so in that regard.
And people can't say, oh well, maybe she didn't know that. Like she really knew. She had him look in the mirror to see that he is someone else. They were just like, oh, okay, let's go.
And I also don't understand if the fucking powers can do literally anything, right? Why couldn't they just bring him back as is? Why did they bring him
Right.
back? Was her
Exactly.
wish like, I wish Steve was back in someone else's body? Like, what was her fucking wish? 'Cause she didn't
The
say it out
powers
loud.
were fabricating nuclear weapons out of thin
they
air.
were.
Exactly. But you
Yo,
can't
they're
fabricate a
also
body out of thin air.
Fabricate a man.
One thing too, real quick. One thing, like I don't understand how it was that Max Lord had to physically touch everybody who had to make a wish, but then later on, all he had to do was broadcast himself talking through a television screen.
Well, they
suddenly
said
he can grant everyone's wishes.
okay.
This
Now
is
listen. None of this shit made any fucking sense. But they tried to
Particles.
explain it, and it didn't work. Okay, it didn't fucking work.
It didn't
Oh,
work.
man.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And it's
I
like,
do
what
that.
else was okay? So I had huge issues with that. Now let's talk about fake Maxwell Lord, because that's not even his fucking name. That's not even Maxwell Lord, right? Let's talk about fake Maxwell Lord. First of all, Pedro definitely did the best that he could. Shout out to him. But I thought his entire character arc was stupid. Nothing he did made any sort of sense whatsoever.
Nope.
What would have made the most sense is if he had taken the stone and he had used it for his own corporation and then left it at that. Why
Yeah.
did he feel the need to fly all the way to wherever the fuck they flew to so he can get the oil from what's his face? And why
Cairo.
did he feel the name?
Cairo,
Why did
yeah.
he feel the need to go to the president and be like, I want to be the most powerful? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why?
He could
And
just
then
make the wish.
why did he say I want to be the dreamstone? I'm like, dude, this is ancient magic. Why are you putting it inside of yourself? You don't know the repercussions of what it could do. You could just have the rock and then have people make wishes off the rock. Like, what the fuck, dude?
I think his
that
goal
whole
was to make
thing
sure that nobody could steal it away
problematic, yeah.
from him.
Yeah, but I mean, but that whole very first decision to become the Rock was just like, what? Like even when he said, I was like, well, why? Like how like you now literally have to go to someone else and have them wish your company to be successful. You could have just did that yourself. That was your whole motivation from the start, was to make sure your company was successful so you can go to your kid and say, hey, look, I'm not a loser.
Yeah,
But
and like
you
literally,
had the ability to do that. So why did you just wish to be the Stones and then have other people do that for you? That was
exactly. It's like he could have just been like, I wish I was rich and successful, right? And that's how he could have gotten Lord Industries started, or Lord Tech, or whatever the fuck he wanted to call it, right? And then he could have just locked away the stone under all of his fucking security and just been successful. No one would have been any wiser, right? Like none the wise. He should, and then like he had the stone in the back of his hand, like up behind his back when he was like making out with Minerva. But then it turns out like, oh, I realized he was holding the stone behind his back, right? And though I just gave him the stone. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then I understand that she's a thirsty bitch, right? But there's just no way with someone with that many degrees is that goddamn
Nah,
stupid.
You could tell how thirsty she was. As soon as the door closed, bang, straight
was
there. She
definitely-
was.
That was a plot hole right there, because in the whole scene where he like seduces her and all that, he makes it look like he's stealing the stone,
Exactly.
underneath her, right under her nose.
Right,
And then later on, when Wonder Woman asks her about it, she says that she gave it to him.
Exactly. It doesn't make any fucking sense. And then, first of all, his fucking wig or whatever was going on with his hair, I'm just going to throw that out there. Thirdly, fourthly, fifthly, whatever number I'm on, to all the people are like saying he's definitely an allegory on Donald Trump, and they're using his, right, okay, let me finish. They were saying that he reminded them of Donald Trump, and this is like a anti-Trump movie, all this extra shit. And I'm like, listen, I understand that you fucking freaks are obsessed with politics, but there was nothing about what he was doing and how he was acting that reminded me of Trump. He's just another sleazy businessman, which you can say that about anyone.
It's not an anti-Trump movie. It's just a bad movie.
It's just a bad movie,
It's a really bad movie.
People
That's
like
what
to
it
insert
is.
the politics into everything, though.
It's fucking stupid, dude. And then like there was a bunch of people saying there's like all this SJW propaganda. I'm like, was there really? Was there really? I don't think there was.
I don't think so.
No,
Yeah.
no.
It's because of
There wasn't.
the fake assault scenes or the kind of assault, like whatever, right? Like we're not gonna act like they're shitty men and assaults don't happen. Like that dude was trying to get up on her and then she beat the shit out of him. She was like, "What's good? I'm just gonna beat you to death."
One of my favorite scenes, too.
I was like, oh, I was in my seat, like, kill him.
The only part that was just weird is that why is it like this one guy in DC is just everywhere trying to rape women? Like it's just like he just pops up every single time. I'm just like, it's the same dude.
They didn't explain it, but maybe she was walking down the. No, I think she was walking down the same area because
No,
the homeless.
she
the
was-
homeless
she
Now,
guy
the
was
was
first
there.
time she was in the middle of a park.
She was in the
I'm
middle
saying-
of a park.
I mean, like the same
Yeah.
general area, like the same neighborhood, because
Yeah,
the homeless guy that she would bring food to, he was there too. So it's probably just the same area, and he was just like, I don't know, harassing women in the middle of the night. But I mean, why didn't fucking
this
Diana
supposed to
or
be-
her call the police? Like, what's
Yeah,
going on?
this is supposed to be Washington D.C. in the 80s. I'm sorry, there's way more homeless people than just one homeless guy in
Yeah.
Washington D.C. in the
The
80s.
city
I'm
looks way
sorry.
too clean too.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
just like, it's a little ridiculous that these are the only two people that she keeps running into, and it's just the homeless dude that she gives food to, and the guy that keeps trying to rape her. Come on,
Yeah, like it's just the entire thing just had me sighing and rolling my eyes, and I was just like, this movie is just awful. And then what else didn't make sense? So when he was like, "Oh, I have all this power, just ask me what you want, I will grant your wish," I'm like, okay, first of all, obviously his health is deteriorating. As soon as I realize my health is deteriorating, I'm gonna stop asking people to grant wishes. Like, dude, are you fucking stupid or something? And then his son was like, "I wish for your greatness." I'm like, "Oh, that's great, but like, what exactly does that do? Absolutely fucking nothing, right?" And then, wait, I'm not done. And then suddenly, when he's like fucking being blasted by particles, he's all like, "I have the power," and then she's like, "Look at your son. Look." Look at your son.
That's what I didn't get either. Like, yo, he didn't give a shit about his kid the whole movie. And now suddenly his entire plan's gonna be foiled because he sees his kid crying and shit. Bro, the kid was crying the whole movie. He didn't care.
Like, I guess it would have made more sense if the kid was about to get killed or something, which he probably was because of the fucking nuclear missiles or whatever. But like, I'm just sitting there like, none of this makes any sense. And then also, Maxwell Lord is supposed to be a smart character. So what the fuck is going on? Right? Like, what is going on? And shout out to Clifton saying, "I went to see Wonder Woman in my Wonder Woman movie. She was hardly in the movie."
I almost felt bad for laughing at the part where his son is like behind the glass.
Yeah. That was actually kind of funny.
Why is he here? And the kid
And then Brent was saying he was doing it for his son. Oh, so you're telling me that he went to go get all that power and became a megalomaniac for his son? That wasn't for his son. That was for himself. Yeah. He did it for himself. He even said, like, Diana flat out said, "You already have all this stuff." And then he was like, "Why not more?"
I think what happened with him was, as his like actual physical health was deteriorating, his mental health was as well, which is why he kept going.
If that was the case, then he shouldn't have been able to be brought back just because he saw his kid wandering the street.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Shogun's like, "Listen, you guys are confusing me. I'm confused just talking about this fucking movie."
And then all because of Wonder Woman's speech, every single person on Earth who listened to his speech all started. I guarantee you, a bunch of those people would not have renounced their wishes. There's no way.
How, when he needed the camera and the camera crew in order to let people know about the wish, that her lassoing him with the camera gone and him standing in the light, like, I don't know what. How is everyone here? How is the whole world hearing her now?
And again, I can understand some of the wishes getting removed when he said, "I no longer, I rescind my wish." But then, like, every single person on Earth all rescinding their wishes at the same time.
Exactly.
I'm like, that's not going to happen.
And also, I don't think they all rescinded their wish either, because I definitely, whatever I would have wished for, I would not have rescinded it myself. But
you could tell they insinuated it because they were flashing around all these different random irrelevant people, saying they rescind their wishes.
Shout out to Clifton saying the fish out of water jokes got old real fast too. So yeah, honestly speaking, the film was fucking trash, and no one got arrested at the end. I don't know what happened to it. Like, I wanted to see at least what happened to Barbara at the end. Like, yeah. I wanted to see, like, yeah, and then Eon said Max grew up poor. He didn't want to end up like his parents. Well, okay, first of all, it's insinuating that his mom's dead, and then his dad was like beating her and him. I think he's clearly somewhere else from where his parents are. He could have just wished to be a rich businessman, and that would have sufficed. Okay? That would have fucking sufficed. So it just like got like all this stuff.
Okay. Arcade says he was standing in a beam that was transmitting as well. Okay, so why did he need the camera crew before? If all he had to do was stand in a beam, and then everyone can hear him in the entire planet.
Well, they had to look into his
eyes. And
eyes.
Everybody in the planet's awake at the same time.
I don't fucking know.
Right. and then like Diana lassos him, and now she's got like the microphone of that's like crystal clear for the entire world to hear her now, even though she's across the room. Like,
And she manages to talk all this talk, and all of a sudden everything rights itself just because she gave a little speech, and everything's magical and rainbows,
And
and
then
oh, the world's
also
amazing.
another issue is if this happened, why is this not brought up in any of the later movies?
Right.
Like, oh, like there was a period of time in which everyone got their wish or whatever, right? Like, what who wrote this script? I know who wrote the script, but the script was trash. This movie was trash in regards to the story, and I am just kind of blown away that they saw three people wrote this fucking script, all went over it and was like, you know what, this is great.
This checks out.
This checks out perfectly. Nothing is weird. All of it makes sense. Oh yeah, it's perfectly fine to have Diana sexually assault this unconscious guy. That's perfectly fucking fine. You know, like what? Like what in the world? And then, like I said, the magic rock thing in general just had me sighing and rolling my eyes into fucking oblivion. I was just like, bro, like, come on, dude. And then, like, also, as I stated before, the movie could have either had Maxwell Lord or fucking Barbara in it. It didn't need both of them. Both of them, like, take one of them out. You could just alter the plot somewhat, and then it's like whatever. And then somehow it's just. Oh my God. And then hold on, one more thing. And then when Barbara and fucking Diana were fighting, and Barbara's like, "You've always had everything." What? I'm like, you've known Diana for 2 days. You've known her for 2 fucking days. So you saying you've always had everything given to you? You don't know this woman. So what are you saying to me right now? Like, what are you fucking talking about? Make it make fucking sense.
But that whole fight was like the way she was just hiding behind this suit of armor, like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna tear through all this armor real quick, and then I'm gonna throw you to the side, and then wow, this is an amazing fight sequence, you know.
I think this is just a big indictment on the future of DC, man, because what the fuck is going on? Like, a lot of people thought they were turning it around with the first Wonder Woman, but
DC was on a roll. They made some good films, and then they made this, and I'm like, okay, DC, come on now, you know?
Yeah. I mean, but that's really the issue with DC is that, you know, people can say whatever they want about Marvel Studios, but
Marvel's been doing well for the most part.
Kevin Feige being at the head and kind of having the vision and kind of setting a tone, there's a certain level of quality those films have, and even though they are somewhat lighthearted, some people don't like the comedy in some of them, you know what you're getting, and there's a certain level of quality that you get with their film, even the smaller ones like Ant-Man and Guardians. The problem with DC is that it's just all over the place. It's just like whatever director or writer or vision, whatever, that, hey, you know what? My Joker, I don't want that guy as my Joker. I want this guy as my Joker. And we're going to act like all this is going on. And we're going to ignore everything else that's happened. It's just like, I mean, not saying the Joker movie was bad. It was a great movie, but it's just like there's no continuity from one movie to the next. And then you got, you know, directors that are just deciding, hey, you know, everything I did in the first movie, we just gonna kind of jump that and do all
the Marvel movies all set each other up. Yeah, they're a step in a ladder.
If you go from the first, take the first Iron Man film, the first Thor film, the first whatever film, they all come together, film after film. They all build up. People are cameoing in every other film, and then eventually it all builds up into Infinity War, and boom, the story's done. And it's like, yo, you could start at any one of these films and arrive at the same point.
Yeah, because they have that long term. They got their phases. They have everything planned out. So it's they can do the big climax and then start over with something else. You know.
Oh, and then real quick,
Luca, go ahead.
Slow-mo, what'd you think about the invisible jet? I can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Yo, I literally laughed out loud. Like for like a good, I missed like maybe like 30 seconds of it because I was eyes closed, tears, laughing at how stupid that was. And I'm just like, wait a minute, so this jet, right? Because like I'm no expert on jets, but like when Steve was like, wait, you got planes that can go all the way to Cairo, and she's like, yeah. And so he's looking at a plane inside the little area, the building that can do that. Then they go outside and look at jet. I'm like, yo, those can't go that far.
Yeah, they cut.
You would end up in the ocean like maybe 30 miles away from where you started. Like, what you do? But that, like, hey, This one plane is gonna go all the way across halfway across the world. Sure, okay. Oh, now you're gonna make it invisible just out of nowhere. You know what? It's so much of the movie it reminded me of the '80s Superman with what's his name, Christopher Reeve. Where Christopher Reeve would just do stuff. It was just like, I got a reverse time. Let me just fly around the plane. And,
I forgot what you said. Facts. How did that jet make it all the way to Egypt with no? How? There's no fuel.
There's no fuel. Oh, now she can just fly. You know what? I just figured out I can fly now. So I'm gonna start flying. Like, just
she's like, I'm gonna deliberately handicap myself against Doomsday and Superman, and later, like, what?
I just got all this other stuff like 2 decades later, but sure, yeah, all this stuff I can do it now. It reminded me of '80s Superman, where Superman would just he would just do stuff. Oh, hey, Lois is dead. Let me just reverse time by going, through around the planet and reverse until she's alive again. It's just like, what is happening here, man? This is not. It's just it was so bad. It was comical. That's how bad it is.
It's literally the writing and the whole story, and whoever they really destroyed the film. Whoever did the plot and all the writing, it
was Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns and some other dude.
Yeah.
Like they need to do something, because that I don't know what they were thinking when they even thought about.
I was down on this movie before we started our conversation. I was down on this movie before we started, and now I'm realizing it's worse than I thought.
Ryan said, "Slow-mo, you're wrong. It's a fact that jets conserve lots of fuel when they're invisible."
Right. Yeah, you know what? And someone made a good point. This is Superman 2, because Superman lost his powers in that movie too.
Well, actually, that makes sense.
He got straight curb stomped by some dude in a bar as soon as he lost his powers. It was hilarious.
I think they were thinking about Superman, maybe, because if you look right at the beginning, it's paying homage to Superman 3 or 2, one of them. It starts off like Superman did. So I think whilst they were writing it, they're like, "Oh, we'll start off with a bit of Superman homage. We'll do this."
How do you pay homage to the worst Superman movie ever created?
Well, look at the movie. No. But look at the movie they created. They paid homage to probably the worst Superman movie. It makes sense. That's why the film turned out the way it did. That's their taste.
Let me ask you something, Slow-mo. Do you think that the first Wonder Woman movie was put on a pedestal because it was the first DC movie that was decent?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I think it's a tad bit overrated. It's a decent film, and I enjoyed it. But the way people talked about it, it was like, finally we got a good one. But it was like people put it on a level that it wasn't quite really there. And then you had Patty Jenkins as the director, which is great because she's a woman and she's a really good director. And it was just like, look, they did it with a woman director. And I'm just
is she a really good director?
I mean, she's all right. I think she's okay.
Mean,
I think that she proved with this movie she should be completely out of the writing room. Like no writing whatsoever. You direct it. We write it. You direct it. That's it.
That's the thing, though. Now you can't tell whether she sucks as a writer or a director. Now you got to be,
well,
figure it out.
They could have made this film workable if they just completely cut the Max Lord wish.
They completely had a different script.
If they cut all the Max.
They could have cut Max Lord or Barbara out.
If they cut the Max Lord Wishes Stone out and then just concentrated on the Wonder Woman versus Cheetah and have that be the main thing of it.
Yeah, I
Cheetah
can agree
versus
with that.
Wonder Woman. It'd be, you could pass it. But the whole the Max Lord and Wishing Stone crap on top of it, it's like, so now we start with garbage. We add more garbage to the garbage. Now we have a dumpster fire. Let's put it out and call it a movie.
Thankfully, she's not writing the new Cleopatra movie, so
I think she's going to freaking Marvel, isn't she?
No.
Keep her ass.
Keep
What's
her
she
ass
doing?
away
Like Star
from
Wars stuff? Is she
Star
doing
Wars
Star
Rogue
Wars?
Squadron.
Well, that's fine because Star Wars is a burning ship anyway. So
listen,
just as long as she's not writing it, I think it might.
I just don't understand. Like, someone has one successful movie, and then you give them the keys to like a bunch of other major IPs.
Yeah.
Like, make that make fucking fucking sense, dude. Like,
Hey,
make sense.
That's what's going on in Hollywood. You look at the Game of Thrones guys, the D&D guys from Game of Thrones. They had done nothing before, being executive producers over Game of Thrones. Of course, at one point it was amazing, but they weren't writing any of that stuff. They were adapting what was already written by George R.R. Martin and then putting it on the screen with unlimited money from HBO to just, literally every single episode was like the budget of a full-fledged big budget blockbuster movie. And so once the scripts ran out, once the dialogue and the plot from the actual books was done and they couldn't finish it, we saw what they were left with. They really were. They were really terrible writers with absolutely no understanding of the characters they were writing for, and but yet Disney was going to give them the keys to Star Wars.
See, I think the current crop of directors and whatnot are trash compared to what we had before. Like,
okay, explain.
Well, Spielberg. Let's take his first movie. He had to do multiple movies before he became as big as he was. Spielberg, celebrated, does all these magical movies, but he had to work to get to that point. Now you just put out one good film and they give you the keys to the mansion.
That's true. I can agree with that.
You think they're just rushing the champion people?
Yeah, he didn't make one movie. He had to make multiple movies to even get the keys to the mansion. Now you just get handed the keys it's like a one-hit wonder. You get given all the money, all the fame, and then you're like, okay, let me go make something else. And then your second movie is complete trash, and it's like, well, what happened?
Kind of like the Cyberpunk.
I kind of agree with
I'm
that.
sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, what did you have to bring Cyberpunk into this?
Listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is on me. But anyway, but yeah, no, I had a lot of issues with the movie, and then my grandma just, she revealed to me today that she not only does she watch Scumcast, she was like, you act very different in your videos, than I.
Shout out to grandma. How's it going?
Lucas' grandma, how you doing?
I was just kind of like, okay, and then she was like, oh, I disagree with you. Insert real name. I think the movie's a 5, and I'm sitting there looking at her like, I never told you what I scored the movie. So then I realized like, oh, she's on Twitter too. All right, bet. So
you gotta find her. You gotta find her and block her.
So yeah, all that stuff going on. I was like, okay, but yeah. So overall, just the movie is just it was it was, I don't know. It was
don't sugarcoat it, Luca. It was bad.
It was pretty bad.
I think my GIF I posted on Twitter summed it up. It was a dumpster fire, 4 out of 10. Would not recommend. Well, actually, I would recommend.
I definitely wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
I would, because some people can make up their own minds. Because some people, for whatever reason, think it was amazing. It was fine. I mean,
I've never heard anyone say that. Well, I mean,
I've seen some people on Twitter, bro, saying that this thing is hot, bro. Like this thing is fire. Yeah.
God, what is his name? The one who's always like really positive about Xbox, but like in a way, but in a way I can't, but like in a way where I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not, because
I was about to say something that was going to get a lot of people angry about.
I think it was Brandon. I think Brandon Bryce. I think it was him. I think he said he gave it like an 8.5. Let me just double check.
Let me just Brandon seems to like anything and everything. A lot of
people say that it's great, man.
Well, that's why I said I can't tell if he's being facetious or not, because he's always very like positive. He's like, "Wow, Luca, this was just," and then he'll just start talking, and I'm just like, "Okay." Like, I mean, I love hearing his takes. I think he's fun, but he's fun because I can't tell if he's being sarcastic or not. You know what I mean? So,
but yeah, I mean, I stayed up an extra 2 hours to watch this, and I won my hours back. I won that time back. Like,
I'm sorry, Death Singer.
It's fine. I accept it. I mean, I stayed up for it and I paid the price. It is what I went in thinking it was going to be trash, and it came out exactly like I thought it would be. So.
You thought it was going to be trash? Why? Okay, why?
My irrational hate for DC, but that's another thing.
An irrational hate for DC?
I don't have irrational hate. I just don't like DC in general. Like,
why don't you like DC?
I prefer, like, the whole Superman thing is.
You mean movies or DC in general?
No, the movies and stuff. The movies particularly. And
so you don't like any DC movie?
What?
You do not like any DC movie?
I haven't enjoyed a DC movie since. When was the last time I actually watched a DC movie? It was the one with Mr. Freeze and Batman. Batman Forever.
From the 90s?
Yeah. No.
Sorry.
The last DC movie I enjoyed was what's his name was Batman.
My man, the Nolan trilogy, no?
No, what's his The Dark Knight and all that.
That's a Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, that's from the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That was that. I enjoyed that, but outside of that, Aquaman as well. Aquaman was pretty cool.
Okay, I'm just saying I'm mentally prepping you for being questioned on Scumcast because you're taking a little bit too long to answer questions. You're taking a second too long, dog. I need you.
I'm not taking a second too long because I just don't care about DC like that.
I don't give a fuck if you care or not. Okay, if you say something, you need to explain it here. All right.
Well, I explained my hate for DC. DC's overrated.
Okay, all right. Overrated.
I don't think it's overrated. I think it's perfectly rated. Nobody thinks it's awesome.
Like it's not overrated at all.
Yeah. People gotta actually think it's great for it to be overrated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, people do think it's great. So
no, they don't.
Nah, they're in the minority. They're in the minority.
They do not
in the minority.
I'll just admit it. I'm a Marvel fanboy. There we go. I admitted it on air. Here we go. Okay, cool.
All right. I mean, that's perfectly fine. I'm just saying, like, if you say something, I just need you to back it up. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, I already admitted it. So when you say, "Oh, you're just a Marvel fanboy," I mean,
I didn't say that, but I got you.
I just have to cover myself for Scumcast, so I'll get it all out now, so I don't get questions.
That's fine. All right, so yeah, no, I definitely, like I said, you guys know I like some movies that are considered trash by a lot of people. But even I was just kind of like, I don't know about this. So, I'm just looking through the comments right now.
I'm the opposite of Depth Singer. I'm a DC fanboy.
Hey, Luca, to go back to your grandmother watching it, so did she ask you what scum guzzlers really mean?
Oh, man.
No, she didn't mention it to me, thankfully.
Okay. I was just thinking about
I found that funny when you posted that. I was like, "Wow, lucky you didn't say anything too bad."
Yeah, no, I was just like thinking. I was like, man, all the time, like I said, she was like, man, you certainly sound very different on your show. Like, you know what? That is quite all right. There's nothing I can really do about that. But she knows I have a huge disdain for a lot of things, so she was just kind of like, okay.
She's just looking out for you on YouTube, making sure you're not associating with shady characters,
Unfortunately, I am, so. But overall, the movie was just like a disappointment through and through. I wasn't expecting like a super great film or anything like that. I just thought it would be okay, I was like, oh, this will be fine.
Well, I gave it a chance, and
Did you give it a chance?
Well, I actually give it because I came in, didn't I, Meds? I came in and said, I want to watch this. No one forced me.
We all did go into it optimistic. All of us wanted to like it.
I was optimistic. I was saying some good stuff at the beginning. And then about halfway through the film, I was like, "What am I doing?"
Through, I was kind of.
We were checking how much time was left, like every 20 minutes.
Yeah,
and that's how you can tell the movie's not good. If you keep,
I was annoyed from like the very first 5 minutes of the movie. I was just like, "Yo, what is happening?" And it's like after maybe like 30 minutes in, this is when I realized, oh. This isn't going to get any better. This is what this movie is.
The biggest positive. Go ahead, Slomo. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
I was gonna say the biggest positive of this movie is that it's on HBO Max, like straight up. That's the biggest positive of this movie.
Yeah, I didn't have to pay for it
because
so I was happy about
I feel like it'd be getting shit on way worse if people actually spent $100 to go on a date with their girl to the movies and watch this crash.
Slomo, can you imagine if you took your kids to see this and then all this stuff you got to pay for all of them because you always say it costs a lot. And
it's like with the tickets alone is like $50, right? If you bring all your kids, then they all want food, candy, something to drink. I'm spending well over $100 to watch that garbage. No, I'm glad I saw it through HBO Max. Glad I didn't have to spend anything extra the way Disney does Disney Plus. I think they did it with Mulan, where you had to spend $30 and have Disney Plus in order to watch it, which I didn't
Well, I
to
mean, I
watch
have to
it all
shout out
anyway.
to the guy who streamed it for all of us in the Discord, Red Hood. I mean, he took the brunt of it. He had the HBO thing, and he, put it up there for us, and it was garbage.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah.
Now I hope because all the directors and actors that had money planned, and this is not really talking about Wonder Woman specifically, but talking about everything that the WB is doing in 2021 when it comes to their movies. If guys aren't aware, all of them are going to HBO Max and launching same day as they do in the theaters, or as they would in the theaters. And so there was a lot of backlash from these studios that were producing, because Christopher Nolan, punk ass line, me being upset and everything but a lot of it is due to the fact that they have like revenue goals for the box office and percentages off of that they're not going to make money off of, which if they were smart, they would realize you aren't making money off of that anyway. You're not going
to be making it anyway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no one's going to the movie theater to watch your movie and risk getting sick.
Exactly.
Stupid. So like they weren't making it anyway, but they were hoping that WB would keep just delaying it until the pandemic was over with, and then they could make the money that they planned on making when they first made the movie. It's just not going to happen. But regardless of that, I'm hoping that even though this movie sucks, that a lot of people watch it, so that the WB says, okay, they don't change their mind on this and kind of buckle to the pressure, because you got Dune, which I'm really, really excited for, because I read the books of Dune, and Dune's awesome. That's coming to HBO Max. They got their other Suicide Squad movie coming. They got a whole bunch of stuff that is all going to HBO Max. I'm kind of hoping it just stays that way, regardless of how bad this movie was.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely think it's still gonna go that way. And honestly speaking, they didn't really have a lot of choice when it came to a lot of this stuff. Even if the pandemic was over, people would still not be going to the theater. Like, at least I'm still not going to go, like, even if the lockdown's done, you can all go. I mean, they have stopped the lockdown multiple times only for us to continue like, oh, you know what? Actually, we're going back under lockdown.
Yeah. And it's going to keep happening. So
exactly. So
until everybody's vaccinated.
Exactly. So, I definitely am someone who isn't going to go out. I'm not going to risk it. I have no interest in any of that stuff. And I love going to the theater, but it's a no for me, dog.
Red Hood said June is not coming to HBO Max.
It's not? I thought, when I first saw the whole thing happen, I thought it was going to HBO Max. Let me take a look at it real quick.
Shout out to Red Hood with the super cheat. Yeah. So, like I said, there's just a lot of things that were a little spooky about the movie in general. And I'm happy that, I had the experience of watching it in the comfort of my aunt and uncle's house. And I don't have to go out and, experience the cold weather for something that I ended up not liking.
I am actually grateful that, the guys in the Discord were the best part of the movie. Like, all of us in the Discord, they were the best part, because the movie was trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some laughs.
Yeah, we had some laughs courtesy of the film. And, I certainly, if I had paid and went to the actual cinema, I would be so angry.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
No, go on.
No, I was going to say that I'm looking at articles that are saying that Dune is in the list of other movies like Matrix 4 and Suicide Squad, In the Heights, a whole bunch of other movies that are coming. King Richard, Space Jam, The Conjuring, Godzilla vs. Kong, a whole bunch of movies, pretty much everything that they coming out with. But if that changed, I know that the studio that made Dune made a big fuss about it going to HBO Max. So maybe they changed Dune, but as far as I've seen,
Red Hood said Legendary is suing Warner Brothers.
Just because they're suing doesn't mean he ain't going. They can sue. Doesn't mean it's multiple studios have said they're going to sue WB over this, and that doesn't mean it's going to change anything. But I mean, we'll see. Hopefully, Dune still goes, because I would love to see it. But
in June, but
I'm not going to go risk COVID to go see it.
No, I'm like I haven't gone to the cinema in like a few years. I've been watching everything online. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, Red Hood just told me that apparently it's because Legendary is actually suing WB because of this whole scenario, and so there's this whole legalese thing going on back behind the scenes. So that's the whole Dune situation.
All right. Well, hopefully Legendary loses. I mean, I know they're pretty upset, but I don't care. I want to watch the movie. I'm gonna watch it as soon as it comes out.
Streaming is the future, fam.
Yeah, exactly. It's the future. Just get over it. You know.
People thought everyone was crazy when who was it said streaming would eventually be the future. Who said that was going to be in the future? Phil Spencer.
Oh my! I knew you'd make this a Xbox thing.
No. I was just doing it for the propaganda.
Propaganda.
Yeah, I swear to God, this thing is all about the Xbox propaganda.
No, I'm not. I am a PCMR now. Everyone can attest to it. I have not spoken about Xbox in like weeks like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm PCMR now. Don't people forget it.
All right. Well, yeah. Any final words on this, guys, before we get out of here?
Nope. Movie sucks. That's all.
Go.
Movie's bad. 4 out of 10. 4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Dumpster fire. You can watch it if you watch it. If you want to. I mean, go ahead. But I mean, don't regret it afterwards when you want your hours back.
I think it's worth a watch, but I'm never watching this movie again. I'm glad I watched it the one time, but I'm never seeing it again. I have no desire to.
Right. Look, if you don't have HBO Max, it's not worth getting HBO Max to watch this. But if you already have HBO Max, go ahead and watch it. I mean, you already
borrow your friend's password.
Oh, yeah, right. Borrow someone's password. Check it out if you have access to it. You don't have to pay for it. Yeah. But otherwise, no, it's not worth it.
No, I 100% agree with all you guys. Someone asked me that on Twitter. They're like, "Is it worth it?" I was like, "Nope, not at all." So, all right, guys. Anyone in the chat? You guys got any final say? Let's see here. Gregor's talking.
I want to see Pedro Pascal in more DC stuff, though. I really would like. I just recently got introduced to him as an actor. Never heard of him really until Mandalorian, and I really enjoy his work. Even this subpar movie, I thought he was one of the highlights of. So, you know.
Yeah, he got really big after his stint on Game of Thrones. He played the Red Viper on Game of Thrones, and he only pretty short-lived part, but he was really good on Game of Thrones. So yeah, he's definitely going to come up.
All right, yeah, for sure. I think he's a great actor, especially.
And I agree with Jemiah. HBO Max is really good. It is a good service, even though apparently it's kind of struggling to get subscribers. I like it. I think it's probably struggling because people don't even know if they have it or not.
Yeah, my grandma was asking me, which version of HBO can I use? I'm like, dude,
that's HBO's own problem because they ended up starting like 2 or 3 different services. Like, why?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah,
no, I agree. Let's see here. Let me get these super chats. Shout out to Forget Me Not saying Nolan hasn't made a good movie since Inception, and then shout out to BitCloud saying the movie sucked, but I got more enjoyment watching it with the homies on Discord. Shout out to Med Singer and Red Hood.
And I agree, Jemiah. Lovecraft Country is an amazing show. That's worth
Did you
getting.
Get to the end?
Huh?
Did you finish the show yet?
Yeah, I finished it. Yeah, I finished it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's worth watching. Getting HBO Max for, I think.
Okay.
Lovecraft Country, yeah. It's got some other good shows in there too. I've been kind of watching some things, but yeah, it's all right. I like it.
Yeah, I heard that Raised by Wolves is good too.
Yeah, I've been watching. I need to finish that. I haven't finished that yet, but Raised by Wolves is pretty good.
All right. Anyone else?
Nope, that's it. It's trash. Dumpster fire.
Shout out to your grandma. That's it.
Shout out to my grandma.
Yeah, grandma in the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, my grandma's like, listen, the movie's a 5. I was like, all right. You know, she's a little bit more critical about certain things than I am, so I appreciate that about her, though. All right, let's get Addo. All right, you guys want to let people know where they can find you?
Actually, Men's on Twitter. That's it. Bye, everybody. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday.
All right, Singer.
Death Singer everywhere, I think. Yeah, everywhere. And yeah, see you all later.
All right, Slow.
Slow-mo backslap on Twitter and YouTube. Peace out.
All right. And Nautical was here earlier. You guys can follow him at Gaming Forte. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks so much for joining us for this random spoiler cast. I appreciate it. I just had to get my feelings out and add some content to the channel because I've been slacking. I've been lacking. I've been chillaxing. So, all right, boys, girls, I'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Bye.